Forex time sessions. This video will help us understand why Forex is a 24-hour market and trades for 5 days a week. So basically from Monday all the way down to Friday. So obviously the market does not open over the weekend, and that's why we can't trade Saturday and Sunday. But when it's open, it's actually open for 24 hours. So I got my stats from a website called forexmarkethours.com. So just go check it out and you'll find the exact same thing you're looking at here, and they'll explain it to you. Alright, but I'm gonna break it down for you right now. So the first thing that you have to do is make sure that you're in the right time zone. Okay, so I selected here Africa Joburg SAST time, which is the +2 GMT. So select the time zone first. Once your time zone is there, it will automatically then put the time sessions in the order according to your actual country. Okay, so since we're in South Africa, Joburg is our time. And then the first market on the list, if we start here at 10 o'clock, is your London market, where it opens at 10. Okay, depending on daylight savings, sometimes it opens at 9, sometimes it opens at 10, but in most cases at 10 the London market opens. So the London market is actually the London Stock Exchange, and that's when most of the volume comes in. So as those traders are trading, putting trades on stocks, putting them on indices and so on, those movements of funds actually causes an impact in how that currency is doing. Okay, it causes the currency to move. So usually when the market opens, so at 10 o'clock, if you go check out the London currencies, which I'll put down here, you'll notice that around that time they move the most, because that's when it's in the early hours for them. That's when the stock exchange opens. So obviously JSE opens at 9 o'clock in South African time. So that's when you see most of the currencies, or our currency, affected, is during the early hours. Another time that they're going to be affected is just before they close the market. So they close at 6 p.m. our time. Alright, so the time they open and the time they close, we've got very aggressive movements, because it's either they're cashing out, or at 10 o'clock they're putting money on the table. Alright, then at 3 p.m. the United States dollar is also open. So now they are overlapping with the London guys. So basically you can now be trading your London currencies and your American currencies, okay, which I'll also name later. Then the American go and open right until 11 p.m. South African time, and then the next market to open is then your Sydney at 12 a.m. Okay, so Sydney is basically Australia and New Zealand. They open at 12 and then close the market at 8 a.m. Okay, then shortly after Sydney opens, Tokyo also opens their doors for trades at 2. So it's 2 hours later. Tokyo opens and then it closes at 10 a.m. when London opens. So this is what's causing the 24 hours, that the market is actually always open in one country, and that's why trades can be placed on a 24-hour basis. Okay, now let's name some of these currencies. So obviously your London, let's keep the colors. So London is in green. So when the London Stock Exchange opens, the currency that it usually affects would be your Great British Pound and your Euro. Okay, so if you check any currency pair with this pairs at those open times and close times, you should see very good momentum or volumes in the market. And then in orange, let's make this yellow orange. There we go. So in orange you've got your New York. Oh no, it looks brown now. Right? Let's pretend it's orange. So you've got New York that opens at 3 p.m. closes at 11 p.m. So basically the currencies that would be most active during those times would then be obviously United States dollar and also your Canadian dollar. Because of the time zone, they basically share a time zone, and that's when they'll be most active. And then in blue, you've got Sydney that opens at midnight and closes at 8 a.m. in the morning. So your Sydney currencies, the ones that would be mostly affected there, would be currencies such as your Australian dollar and your New Zealand dollar. Okay, and then in yellow you've got Tokyo, which opens 2 hours after the Sydney market opens, and there obviously you'd expect that your Japanese yen will be the currency that's mostly affected and moving at those specific times. Okay, now it is very important to understand when traders are coming in or leaving the market, because that's when we have most of our trading volumes. Let me make an example. So this is just a small experiment so that you can also start seeing this in realistic terms. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at the NAS 100, which is an index that trades from the New York Stock Exchange. So obviously they're using American times, which is then for us between, I'll make it, I know it's 3, but I'll make it 2 p.m. until was that 11? Yes, all the way till we get to 11 p.m. Okay, during this time we expect that the Nasdaq will have most of its volume, most of its movement. Okay, that's known as volume. So more traders, more money will come in during this specific times. Okay, so if you go to the NAS 100, you will notice that every day, like literally every day at 16:30, the market starts moving. So during the day it would have relatively small movements and it won't do much, but around 4:30 you start seeing very aggressive movements, either up or down, it doesn't really matter, but that's when the volume kicks in at 4:30. Right? And it only makes sense that most of the trades would be done during those times, because that's when the New York Stock Exchange is tradable. Okay, so it's something I want to give you, something I want you to go check it out. You'll notice that the volumes are going up during those times. So that's pretty much it for time sessions. But before I leave it there, I want to say to you guys, this is a great knowledge base for the guys that are scalping, alright, and the guys that are doing day trading, because you guys are short-term traders. We'll get into more details later on. Okay, you guys are short-term traders, and it's very important for you guys to know when the market will move the most. Right? Because instead of sitting there the whole day waiting for the market to move, if you go study the volumes and what time session that the currency or the instrument or the industry belongs in, you can then actually predict the times in which it's gonna move the most, so that you're only there during those times. Okay, this will literally help you in making sure you don't find yourself over trading or sitting in trades too long because you're not seeing any market movement. Alright, so leave me your comments below. Let me know if I've opened your eyes to a new reality today, and if there's anything I've missed and you want to know, leave the questions below. I'm here, I want to make these videos. Till we meet again, peace.